Listen. What's going on? Episode 7 of the Listen Show. Mentality and standing out. My drum teacher told me, and this is when I was way too young to understand what he was talking about, but he said, if you play for applause, that's all you're gonna get. And that goes with the saying, what you seek in life is seeking you. So what you want out of life is most likely what you're gonna get. And this goes with music, with the question of, why do you make music? And yeah, just why do you make music? What do you do it for? Ultimately, what you want out of music, you will probably get. But it's like a catch-22 type thing, but it's just nature though. What you want will ultimately be the deciding factor in your actions, how you govern yourself, how much time you put into the craft, and how you will treat your peers and how you treat the people. It's exactly like the stereotypical deal with the devil. Like, all of that stuff is symbology, and all of it is based off of these worldly principles. But yeah, and I'm not saying that there is a wrong reason or any worse reason to do music, because really there isn't. And music and the world is a huge place, and there is more than enough room for everybody in it. The people who do it for fun, the people who do it for the love of, the people who want attention from their peers or their preferred company, whatever you do it for, just know your mind and your desires are going to lead you. And the second part is standing out. I believe that standing out is one of the most proven ways to become successful. All you have to do to stand out is be you. And when you think about it, all of the musical giants, the people we look up to and people we can all say that are great and legends and icons, they were all themselves, even when it wasn't cool to be themselves. I know, like Prince, the first tour he went on, he was getting booed and, the people didn't really like him, but eventually Prince became Prince. And also with that, even when you have some adversity in your music making, not everybody's gonna like your music. And even people who might love you might try to warn you or project their fears onto you. And that's not them trying to kill your dreams or anything. That's just a humanly thing. I've certainly been told that I could actually. My homie gave me some really good advice, David. He said that with me being so different, either I'm gonna be a huge success or a huge failure. And to me, it wasn't really about what he said. It's just about what he meant. Taking the wisdom from that, I always have to be on my square, on my best game. If I want to be different and change the game and, all that stuff we tell ourselves, I really have to make sure my craft is together. And when times get rough, when everything is on the line, that's when who you really are shows. And that's what makes athletes so great. When the team is counting on them, do they show up or are they on a milk carton, you feel me? But that's real though. And that's another key thing to success, is having people who will keep it 100 with you no matter what. And kind of staying humble, keeping somebody around you who will keep you humble. Not that every time I talk to him, he's like, oh, your music is terrible. So that's not the case, but people who keep it real, People who will tell you how they feel no matter what, even when it might hurt your feelings. Or we all know of artists going crazy when they have too many yes men around them. People who won't tell them, hey man, what you're doing is pretty crazy and you probably shouldn't do it. So yeah, all that is important. But stay strong in who you are and stay strong in your beliefs. If you ground yourself in your beliefs, nobody will really be able to shake you. And as far as being yourself, you have your own influences, and you have your own experience. So use them. You are your best weapon. No one can truly duplicate you or predict what you will do in the future. And that's your best asset musically. When you dig in yourself and you find that creativity that no one's ever seen before, that's when you make those huge strides. But with that, everything in the world, there is balance. It's like a gift and a curse type thing. You are your best weapon, but you are also your biggest opponent. Your fears and your insecurities can make you second guess yourself. And that's all a part of being human. But you keep your beliefs and you stand firm in them. I really do believe in my taste and my musical ear. And this is something me and my brother have talked about a lot. Like, I made a beat called The Mob, which is something I feel like is truly like a one-on-one. And I think a lot of my sampling is one-on-one. And this is not to be like big-headed or anything like that. But I feel like I've done some things that like nobody will really be able to duplicate unless like they really sat down and tried to be me. Like, and what I make in the future can't be made before I make it. You feel me? Even if somebody stole all my best beats, like, you have to be, even if somebody steals all your hardest work, like, you have to be confident in yourself to say, okay, that's their last good beats, not my last good beats. Like, if I made those, I know I can make something else. And stuff like that does happen, like with the hip hop Latin samples and sampling like Narcos type samples. I really wanted to like break into the game and that be like a staple of mine. And I think it still will be, because I do have, well, I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but I do have some crazy beats in that, like Narcos type. And I feel like, I think that I'm doing stuff that is even better than what the industry is doing. And as far as the Latin samples, I have definitely heard some really good ones. Like Charlie Heat did something for this artist called Evander Grimm. I think it was called I Don't Trust You, but that Latin beat is crazy. And I would say that's, and again, not to be cocky, but that's definitely like some stuff that I would have liked to do, and I think I would have done if I had that sample. But, and going on, back to The Mob. The Mob was made by me simply searching for sounds in Splice. It's a website, they have a bunch of sounds and loops and all that kind of stuff. But I was searching through Splice and I saw all the quote unquote hip hop loops, and they were just so cookie cutter and like so dull, like so copy and paste. I really don't like to be the artist who, or yeah, I don't like to be the artist who sounds similar to or is really a child of, like, you can really tell where all of their habits come from. Like, if you get your habits from a wide variety of artists and experiences, it's not gonna really sound like any of those artists. It's gonna sound like you. But if you take most of your art from one, and most of your taste from one artist, it's gonna sound like that artist. So that's another key, is having lots of influences. And And being like a music lover, that's what it comes with. I have a lot of musical influences because I love music and I listen to a lot of music. And that goes back to what we talked about last week, is building taste, listening to different music, listening to a lot of it. It all helps to define you, really. And you take what you want out of it. But back to the mob, like I literally was searching for something different on Splice. And I just happened to stumble upon the loops that would become the basis for the mob. And it really all comes full circle to back to what I said at the beginning. What you are searching for is searching for you. You want to be different. You want to stand out. Opportunities and events will arise that will give you the opportunity to stand out. It's like the law of attraction, the law of entanglement, all that kind of stuff. Who you're around will help you stand out. It's the law of attraction and the law of entanglement and all those ancient wisdoms in quantum physics and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff is based in nature. Who you're around will also help you. My parents have been so influential in my music career or in my taste and whatnot, because I was listening to like Fred Hammond and Kirk Franklin, Ty Tribbett as a young kid. And to me, those are giants in the gospel game. Those are icons. And that's what I was listening to at a young age. And I took a lot of stuff from them, and their influence is still in my music. My dad, he's given me a lot of samples. He used to be a DJ in New York. My brother, he just listens to so much music, and he puts me on to so much music. He has an ear where he can hear who's really talented, and he definitely has an ear for good artists and not just like one-hit wonders and stuff like that. He has an ear for artists that really could go to the top of music if, everything goes right. There are politics and stuff like that in music, but my brother has a great ear. And so, yeah, that's kind of the end. I don't know really what I was trying to say. It's kind of just food for thought. Like, if you remember anything from this, it's just to be yourself. It's like being a preacher. You're supposed to be this divine being. You'll always fall short of that. And when like Malcolm X and Martin Luther's children, there's a lot of pressure for them to fill their father's shoes. But they are unique people in themselves, and maybe they don't want to be activists, and that's fine. They're their own people. If you try to fit in someone else's mold, eventually it will crack. That's the end of episode 7. As always, listening's in the description below, and thank you for listening.